Hey everybody, it's me, Tamu. I'm not showing my face right now. Okay, let me show my face, buddy. See me there. But I want to focus on my bag, my training bag. So this is the bag that I'm gonna take to train. I use this bag especially when I am doing day-long trainings because it's huge and it can fit many things in here. So let's talk about what's in my bag for a day-long event. Now, some of the things I would have if I were training like in a hotel venue, conference of a hotel venue, that sort of vibe, I would have a lot more things in my bag. But I'm training in the conference facility of the entity, so it's all in one space. It's small, so of course my laptop would go in there, the charging cords of course, and then I always have a couple copies of my Coaching by Tamu planners, because sometimes people ask me to purchase, so I have those. They're also on Amazon if you wanted to know. I also have a pad. This is for me to write notes. Sometimes people have questions, or sometimes persons might not have enough sketch paper, writing paper, journaling paper, etc. And so in the event they require those, well, yeah, I have that pad. And then what I do is I walk with a couple of my logos so that if I do have to provide lined paper, I would have already stuck some onto here, right? Just, you want to make things look professional and thing, right? I can't even get off my logo. Okay, right? So in case I have to think, so I'll walk with a couple, like cut the sheet, and so if I do have to give sheets, lined sheets, I would stick my logo on them because these things matter. What else is gonna go in my bag? My flat shoes. I will be training in high shoes. A very comfy pair though. Maybe I'll show you what my outfit might look like. But sometimes for a day, if you're a trainer, a coach, a consultant, but particularly if you're a trainer on your feet all day, put a pair of flats. Now these are nice flats, right? They're nice. If they're dirty, sorry, but they're nice. I got these in Dubai and they're really comfortable, but still give a kind of elevated look, maybe because of the pointed toe. So those go in, and I'm opening this for the first time. Well, not for the first time, but I didn't take it out. So this is my USB hub, right? With the HDMI slot. Remember I told y'all yesterday that I had forgotten to buy another HDMI cord. Now I walk with this because if you know the laptops now, or if you're in a space where they might be doing training and they're using a smart TV or something like that, sometimes you don't have enough slots for what you're working with. So I do HDMI because HDMI is what carries the sound. So if like your video is heavy in sound or your presentation's heavy in sound, sometimes the venue will not have an HDMI. So I'll show you. I bought my HDMI today, but you want to make sure you have a slot, port with an HDMI slot. Also, you have spaces for other C charging implements and USB ports as well. And so also if you're using a clicker You can have your PowerPoint or whatever presentation software you're using on your thumb drive, and then this could maybe use for your clicker. So that goes into my bag. I got this on Amazon just because it was cheaper to do so. And remember, I was sick over the vacation, so I really was not in the mood to walk up and downtown to go see about this, and then it will be some exorbitant price. So this goes in here, yeah, and then my HDMI cable, right, that goes in here. I have this because, like I said, this presentation has in some AI generated case study videos, etc., and I want to make sure that there is the sound on it. And then I always have markers because I'm old school, and sometimes you might, depending on what you're doing and your training outline and your training design, you might need to work with some flip charts or to illustrate something on a whiteboard, etc. Even though this training design outline that I am doing this time around doesn't have a flip chart story and thing, but depending on the nature and how things unfold in the training space, you might need to, do some explanation using that. I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing? Yeah, I'm missing my folder. Where is it? So my folder is it's already in my training handbag. So I have a different handbag that I take for trainings, your high powered bag, your leather bag, so that's in there, and that has like my handouts, a few handouts, because I'm really using more QR codes, differentiated training, etc. But of course, people have different learning styles, and so some people need to manipulate, things. Some people need to manipulate paper, hold paper for that kinesthetic learning. So I do have a branded folder. It's much nicer than this one. Much nicer than this. It's all in my pink colors, and that would have in my, whatever material I require. Now I'll take this opportunity, and I know you can't see my face, but matter? Okay. I'll take this opportunity to talk about pricing, yeah? And sometimes if you're a trainer, draw near. Consultant, draw near. Even if you don't consider yourself a trainer, but you are training, right? You could be a nail artist. You could be a braider. You could be whatever the case might be. And you're doing a session. Draw near. Because when you're doing your pricing, I teach people how to price. If you want to be an elite trainer, I do have that elite transformational trainer course coming up, I believe, the end of the first quarter. But one of the modules is about pricing, yeah? And sometimes when you are in a business where you're not used, the inputs that are primarily used are the inputs is your brain, right? Your intellect. We don't include certain things in our pricing, but I show you how to include flat rates for particular things, like or hourly rates. Now the hourly rates are generally for your prep time and so on, okay? That might be for next video, but in terms of getting ready, you do see that you have some costs already. So like the hub, it's a business cost, right? The HDMI, that's a business cost. I'm gonna replace my portable speaker. in a bit. Let me tell you, when I go to a training room, I generally have everything because I've trained all over. Okay, I've trained in almost all Caribbean countries, and let me tell you, you could pop up in a space and they do not have what you require. Okay, so I like to have my own things. But with that said, one of the fees you should build in on the back end when creating your course is a technology fee, right? Even if you're training online, because somebody got to pay for your internet and so on. Then another cost that I build in as a flat fee when computing my cost for the client, they don't ever see that. This is on my back end, right? I have what I call a glam fee. Okay. Now, this session was postponed. So it was supposed to happen very late last year, and we're moving it into the new year. But normally, I would have gotten my hair done, maybe my eyebrows waxed, maybe. But definitely my hair done or refreshed. But the time and I remember I was not well. But I did go and purchase like gel and other things to like freshen up the braids, right? Well, that's an expense. So you should have a glam fee. Sometimes you have to buy a new outfit depending on the nature of the training exercise and the size of the invoice, etc. You need a certain look, a certain glam. You generally have some kind of upkeep as a trainer, especially for corporate or government entities that you have to do. And are you including that in your cost? So a lot of times people are not including these things. What about transportation? Because you got your car thing, you have to get back and forth gas. So there's a flat fee that I make sure is incorporated for transportation. It's minimal. But as gas prices continue to go up, you really do need to incorporate that. And then what I do is I pull those out when I have my profit sheet. So I have like a profit Excel sheet for each event. So I can see what costs were associated with each event. So at the end of this, I know what the invoice says already, and then I will put in like one-time fees for the cost of the HDMI, because of course I'll use it again, so I will not account for it again. The cost of the hub, one-time fees, the beginning of the year, I bought it for the 2025. I will include the expense of travel, the expense of glam, etc. I sometimes have two glam rates, depending on the nature of the invoice or the nature of the assignment. And so sometimes those of us who are doing business that, you're not seeing inputs, you're not seeing typical expenses like maybe if you're doing lashes, the lashes. If you are doing a pedicure, the nail polish, these sorts of things, we think that we do not account for tangible costs, but it costs something to be ready. Now, for instance, if you had to buy the notepad, what is the cost of your stickers? So I know how much this whole sheet costs me, right? And so I need to account for every sticker that came off, or divide it across the year. You could do it like that too, right? Could divide it across the year and across the number of engagements you've had. But the thing is, sometimes when you are not including these specific costs, then it really looks like you're making more money than you are. And then when you do your accounts, you're like, wow, so much money I make, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel like I made so much money. And the reason is because though you're making revenue, because you're in this type of intangible exchange for money, you do not take into account the expenses that are associated with delivering your service. So that's it for me. Maybe I'll show you what I'm thing. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay. All right. So if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if you are training, right, coaching, but do not consider yourself a coach or a trainer, subscribe and thing. We'll continue to talk about some things that are specific to us in this field, in the exchange of knowledge and knowledge work. All right? Bye. It's Dr. Tamu.